On occasions like today, it's appropriate that we take time to reflect upon those whom we honor today and their accomplishments and those who supported them. So if you will, please join me in a moment of silence as we reflect on our blessings. Thank you. At this time, our own vocal rhapsody under the direction of Karen Dale will perform the national anthem for us. And at the conclusion of the national anthem, please be seated and enjoy their second performance, Over the Rainbow.
Oh, say can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red clouds burst on bursting in air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave, the brave. Somewhere over the rainbow, way up high, there's a land that I've heard of once in a lullaby. Somewhere over the rainbow, skies are blue, and the dreams that you dare to dream really do come true. They come true. Someday I'll wish upon a star and wake up where the clouds are far behind me, where trouble smelts like lemon drops away above the chimney tops. That's where you'll find me, somewhere over the rainbow. Bluebirds fly, they fly. Birds fly over the rainbow. Why? Then oh, why can't I? Why can't I? If happy little bluebirds fly above the rainbow, why, oh, why can't I? Why can't I?
If you're excited about being here today for this graduation, will you please say good morning? Good job. Good job. My name is Bill Seymour, and I'm proud to be president here at Cleveland State Community College. Let's hear one more round of applause for Vocal Rhapsody under the direction of Karen Dale. As the president of Cleveland State Community College, and on behalf of the faculty and staff, I would like to welcome you to the college's 49th commencement ceremony. Since the founding of the college in 1967, we have provided credit and non-credit courses to well over 250,000 students. This ceremony will be webcast and broadcast live on our website. It will be archived and can be viewed later also by going to the Cleveland State website. DVD copies will be available at no charge in the Cleveland State Library 2 weeks from today. In order to help us facilitate this special event, we ask that all family and friends remain in the stands throughout the entire ceremony. We'd also like to request that you silence your cell phones at this time. Since today is effectively Mother's Day Eve, I want to give an extra greeting to all of the moms in the audience. A graduation in the family on this weekend makes it even more special. Let's hear a big round of applause for all the moms here today. Next, I'd like to introduce my distinguished colleagues who are with me today on the stage. And to my left, Dr. Denise King, Vice President for Academic Affairs. Amy Card-Lilios is President of the Cleveland State Foundation. Dr. Michael Stokes, Vice President for Student Services. And Mr. Chris Mowry, President of the Staff Senate. And to my right, Mr. Tom Griscom from the Tennessee Board of Regents. Our speaker today, Mr. Alan Jones. Mr. Mark McLeod, President of the Faculty Senate. And Dr. Tommy Wright, Vice President for Finance and Advancement. At this time, it's my pleasure to introduce some very special visitors with us here today. First, I'd like to introduce Senator Mike Bell. Mike, thanks for coming today. In fact, his son is graduating with us today. Did I see Representative Howell come in? He may be here, but if he comes in, we'll say hello. Also, the Chamber CEO, Gary Farlow, is with us today. Gary, thanks for coming. We appreciate all your support of higher education, specifically Cleveland State. I'd also like to recognize Janie Jones, the wife of our speaker today, and I think you have other members of your family and friends. Janie, would you please stand? Along with my wife, Catherine, please. At this time, Tom Griscom has some words of welcome from the Tennessee Board of Regents.
Good morning. Thank you, Dr. Seymour. On behalf of the Tennessee Board of Regents, I want to thank you for the opportunity to be with you today and to participate in this ceremony. I live in Chattanooga, and this is the district that I represent as a member of the Board of Regents. One of the commitments we have as a board and across this state is to have more people with a certificate or some kind of advanced degree so that in the future we're better prepared for the jobs that are going to continue coming to this area, to this region, and to our state. And representing this audience today with these graduates are what I would call traditional students, but it's also students who decided at whatever point in life to come back and finish their degree. And so that's what Drive to 55 is all about, is opening up opportunities regardless of where you are in life, where you are in age, or where you are in terms of your learning, an opportunity to come in and complete that degree and to do that and feel going forward that you have other opportunities yet before you. And so whether this is a degree and you're going to take this opportunity with the associate's degree and go do something, or whether this is a launch point where you're going to go on and finish and get a four-year degree, I want to congratulate each and every one of you in this audience, but also ask you to look at the people who are here with you today on both sides. This is your support network. Whether it's parents, spouses, children, whomever, they deserve a lot of credit for being there and helping you get to this point. And I want to finish with one line from General Douglas MacArthur, particularly since yesterday was the day that World War II ended and that the Nazis were sort of taken care of. And here's what he said, and I think it applies to you all. Reach into the future, yet never neglect the past. So today you're looking at that future in front of you. Please remember those things that have come before you and gotten you here. If you do, you'll have great success in years before. Thank you for letting me be with you.
Tom, thank you very much. I'm very impressed by your role as a regent and your involvement in the state of Tennessee in higher education, and in particular, a great friend of Cleveland State. I hope you've all noticed the flags on the stage. We have 14 students from 8 countries other than the United States graduating today. These flags represent the countries of these graduates. For the spring and summer, we received intent to graduate forms from 479 degrees and certificates. Of those 479, 304 are female and 174 are male. This includes Associate of Arts, Associate of Science, Associate of Applied Science, and certificates. The average age of our graduates today are 29 years old. 56% of our graduates come from Bradley County, 18% come from McMinn County, 4% from Monroe, 29% from Polk, 5% from Meigs, and 5% from Hamilton County. This year, we have one graduate who has earned the Honors Recognition Award. To receive this award, one must complete 12 hours of honors courses with an overall average of B or higher, and meet the associate degree requirements while remaining at a 3.25 GPA at graduation. Well, this year's winner far surpassed that, earning a perfect 4.0 GPA. This individual has been on the president's list throughout his time here. He's a member of Phi Theta Kappa, not only a member but also an officer. He is a testament that every student that comes here is capable of outstanding achievement. He will not mind me telling you that he described he started at the bottom. He came here and started in remedial classes. This is a great lesson that it's not about where you start, but it's where you finish. Well done, Jonathan. Please stand to be recognized. Thank you. At this time, I'd like to recognize our graduates that are in the military. If you're a veteran, reservist, or active military graduating with us today, please stand. And also, while they're doing that, if anyone else in the audience is a veteran, please stand and be recognized. Thank you for your service. We have one student graduating with us today who has a special connection to Cleveland State, and I'd like to take a moment to share that with you. Israel Essex is graduating today with an Associate's of Science in Industrial Technology with a concentration in drafting and design. This is the program that his grandfather, James Austin Allen, started the second year that Cleveland State was in existence back in 1968. Mr. Allen worked for Cleveland State for 23 years. Israel's grandmother, Marty Allen, also worked for the college for 16 years after having attended Cleveland State herself. Israel's mother, Suzanne Ratcliffe, is currently working for Cleveland State in our library. Suzanne has been employed for 25 years this October. Israel's brother, Justin, also attended Cleveland State, as well as his aunt, Cynthia Hayes. Israel, we are glad that you chose to follow in your entire family's footsteps. Would you and your family please stand to be recognized? My next job is to introduce our speaker. And in talking with Alan before we came in today, he said, "How long is your introduction?" And I said, "Well, it's pretty long." He said, "Don't do that." So I'm not going to go with a script, all right? But I do want to introduce our speaker today. Alan Jones is well known in our community. His biography is in your program, so I won't repeat that. I just want to say that he is a great friend to everybody here in Cleveland, Bradley County, in the general area. He's been very generous throughout our community, and in particular, he has single-handedly funded our Bradley Achieves program, where over recent years, high school students from Bradley County have been able to attend college, and many of those students got to meet him here today. If you are a Bradley Achieves student graduating today, would you please stand? Alan, these are your kids. So with that, let me introduce our speaker for today, Alan Jones.
That was short. Thank you, Dr. Seymour. You see, we had a deal. He showed me the introduction. It was real long. I said, I'll tell you what. You make my introduction short, and I'll reciprocate. Took me up on it, and I appreciate it. I know most of you here, I enjoy Cleveland, Tennessee. I grew up here. Debbie Lane, my assistant, has been with me since 1976, and she kept telling me, she said, have you prepared for your talk? I said, no, not yet. I said, I'll tell you what, I need to do that. Debbie, get me a 3x5 card. Find me a 3x5 card for me. She looked, said, Mr. Jones, can't find a 3x5. I've got a 4x6. I said, no, I need a 3x5 card. She came back and said, look, I don't have a 3x5 card. I have to get it. I have a 4x6. Will that work? I said, I'm worried my talk will be too long. So these are my notes right here, ladies and gentlemen. Congratulations, students. You all have done something that I have never done. I am the first speaker, I think, here at Cleveland State to talk to you that actually didn't graduate. I attended Cleveland State. I attended Middle Tennessee State University. My story goes somewhere at Cleveland High School. I was a great wrestler. I had all kinds of scholarship offers. And I decided not to wrestle in college at the last minute, and I went to Middle Tennessee State University. I went over there. I decided to get married at Thanksgiving of my freshman year. So my college career lasted from September and October, and I don't really know about college after that because I got married. Unfortunately, that didn't work out. I moved back to Cleveland. 1 year after we were married, we had a baby. And then a few months after that, I was divorced, and I was faced being a single parent, raising my daughter. My dad had emphysema. He owned the credit bureau in Cleveland. And mother wanted me to come back and help him. His business was failing a little bit, so I went to work for the credit bureau on July 1st, 1973. I was making the best I could of a bad situation of the marriage. We weren't just getting along. It became obvious that wasn't going to work out for me. So now I was at Cleveland State, and I had a 9-month-old baby I was raising on my own. She is here tonight. Courtney, today, will you stand up? My daughter Courtney means a lot to me. I remember Courtney having 104 temperature. I'd been up all night long preparing for my talk, my finals. I was preparing my speech in the bathtub in the morning at 5 a.m. I had not closed my eyes. I went to the office one day, and for some reason, when I would come out here at 8 o'clock in the morning, I was working full time, I was carrying a full load, and I would get off. I'd come out here at 6 o'clock at night after work, and I'd stay till 9 o'clock, and I'd go by my mother's house and pick up Courtney, and we'd go home. And the next morning, it'd all start again. I didn't really dress her in the morning because I was in a rush. I'd put her in a pillowcase and take her to my mother's house. So I tell you guys, you students, life doesn't turn out exactly as you plan, because 1972, when I sat over there at Middle Tennessee State University and they said, look to the right and look to your left, one of you will not graduate. I never dreamed that one would be me. If any of y'all know anything about me, I do not quit, I do not give up. But one day, one afternoon, when it came time to go to class, I just didn't get up from my chair at the office. And I never went back. And I hope that doesn't happen to you. You know, I started to look at some statistics. You're 8.3% of the population in Cleveland, Tennessee, have a 2-year degree. 12.2% have a 4-year degree, and 7.3% have a doctorate or a master's degree. That's 28%. Kids, the good news is you can look around this room, and 72% of the people in this room you have outdone today. So let's give yourself a round of applause. You're on a great start, a great projection. Let me tell you a little bit about your life. When you're in your 20s, I understand the average age here is about 24. A lot of you are doing exactly what I did. A lot of you are married, you've got a family to raise, and you're going here part-time, and you're working full-time, and you've been working at this, and it might have taken you 4 years to get a 2-year degree. But when you get to about 30 years old, I'm 62 years old, born and raised right here in Cleveland, Tennessee. When you get to 30 years old, something magical is going to happen to your life. People are going to start paying attention to you. Right now, they don't pay attention to you, do you? They will start paying attention to you. And then your next milestone will be at age 40. Age 40 would be the class of 1993. Something really neat happens to your life at about age 40. So that's going to be probably about 15 years from today. You can mark my words and take this to the bank. You will be in charge of this community. You can't conceive of that right now, can you? That you will be in charge of this community. Last week, I went to the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and a guy named Greg Hicks got the Small Businessman of the Year award. Greg Hicks graduated with my daughter. I watched those kids grow up. He is now a community leader, won the Small Businessman of the Year award. Greg Hicks has a catering company called Impressions. If you haven't been at a function, you will be at a function that he will serve at. Nick Lilios, for example. Nick Lilios was Courtney's date to the when she went to the country club at the cotillion party. Nick Lilios' mama is sitting right back here. Nick Lilios today, ladies and gentlemen, is chairman of the Bradley County School Board, because at his age, and when you be in your early 40s, you will be running this town. I want you to look at me as the old bull, and you all are the young bull. I'll never forget, I was heading up Main Street, Cleveland. That was one of my charities that I worked very hard, is to renovate our downtown. I was heading up Main Street, Cleveland. And I worked and worked and worked, and about the time I was getting tired of doing it, along comes Nicholas Lilios to take over. The old bull was being challenged by the young bull, and the young bull was ready to take over, and I was glad for him to do it. When you get to be 40 years old, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be running this town, and I know you're going to have a hard time believing that. When you get to be 50, you're going to have a lot of respect in the community. I don't care if you're a nurse. I don't care what you're doing. When you get to be 50, you're going to be considered a senior, and you're going to be very well respected. When you get to be 60, a lot of things happen. First of all, my belly button popped out about 55 with a hernia, so a lot of things are going to happen between 50 and 60. But when you get to be 60, they might invite you to speak at a college. It will shock you, especially when you haven't graduated, and I really appreciate being invited here tonight. Now, I realize Bill Clinton gets $750,000 to make a speech, and I realize I paid more than that to get to speak. So I know why I got invited here, but I really appreciate being here. There was A couple of things that I did that I'm proud of, and first that happened here in Cleveland that you might not know about. First of all, none of you all probably know this, but I was the first baby born at Bradley Memorial Hospital. Did anybody know that? Now Sky Ridge, I was the first baby born at Bradley Memorial Hospital. That made my mother the first mother at Bradley Memorial Hospital. I don't know if you remember a guy named Lamar McKenzie sells insurance. Well, what about Dr. Paul Bacon? How many of you went to Paul Bacon as a child? Dr. Bacon. Paul Bacon and Dr. Bacon was born December 27th. Lamar McKenzie was born December 28th, and I was born December 31st. They were born in Chattanooga. I was born in the new hospital because I was number one, and it had just opened. That's something you didn't know about me. I also owned the first private telephone system in Cleveland, Tennessee. In 1974 at the Credit Bureau, you had to rent your phone from South Central Bell. I was about your age when I discovered you could buy your own phone system. I talked my dad into borrowing $7,000 buying a phone system. We paid $212 a month, and we became the first person in Cleveland, Tennessee to have our own private phone system. I owned the very first cell phone in Cleveland, Tennessee. Who in here does not have a cell phone today? When they sold it to me, it was so advanced, I'd never heard of it. I was so proud of having a cell phone. It was a great big old sack with an antenna on it, and it looked like a radio. I'm going to tell you, the only place I could use that cell phone is up here at the Hilltop Holiday Inn. You know, right behind you here, the Hilltop Holiday Inn. I could pull my car up, face it toward Chattanooga, stand on the front bumper on my tiptoes, and make a phone call. That's how far we've come in such a short period of time. You know, I don't know if any of y'all, have y'all heard of Tall Betsy before? Has anybody in here heard of Tall Betsy? Well, that's the lean spook machine I created on Halloween in 1980, and I did that primarily for Courtney, who I was a single parent raising. You just don't know where all these things are going. I never dreamed that thing would spin out of control and become a legend here in Cleveland today. There was several things I was proud of. I wrote the Main Street Cleveland Ordinance. I wrote the tree ordinance. I made Cleveland the first tree city, one of the first tree cities in the state of Tennessee. So all these trees you see planted started when I wrote that tree ordinance years ago. I wasn't much younger than you. Nobody was listening to me. I was pounding my fist and pushing. And they will listen to you someday once you get a little bit older. But I wrote this the tree ordinance for the city of Cleveland. And today, if you look out here at Cleveland State, it's a tree campus by the National Arbor Day Foundation that ties in with that. And that all started when I was battling the city council years ago when I was about 27 years old to make this a Tree City USA. Cleveland High School Wrestling and Bradley High School Wrestling. How many of you went to Bradley? How many of you went to Cleveland? You know, they allowed me to help pick the wrestling coach in 2006. I put together a 6-year plan. I donated the wrestling building to Cleveland High School primarily because I had never had a wrestling coach until my senior year that had ever wrestled before. And I did not want that to happen to any of the kids. And I also donated the wrestling building to Bradley High School. Bradley High School beat Cleveland High School 19 years in a row. They asked me to hire some new coaches. I went in and I put together a 6-year plan in 2006, 2007. We got a new coach at the high school, a new coach at the middle school, and I funded the kids club program out of my pocket. In 2013, 6 years later, when our 6th graders got to be a senior, Cleveland High School went over and beat Wilton Central in the state championship finals 78-4. They beat every single record that had ever been set in wrestling. I was very proud to see that happening. In 2011, our Main Street program was picked the #1 Main Street program in the state. in 2011, the tree board, the state tree board came here from Nashville and awarded our tree board the best tree board in the state. And the same year, at the same time, within a week, Cleveland, Tennessee had won the state championship in wrestling. That was a big year to me. Now, I told you what to expect, but let me tell you what you guys are facing. I started looking at the statistics of this class. You all have grown up during the most incredible time that I can remember. The past 5 years have been something I've never seen before, I've never witnessed. I've never witnessed a financial meltdown like we had. I never dreamed that one day when I got successful that I would be attacked for being the top 1%. I never thought about that. It never entered my mind. I thought attacking the top 1% would be like attacking the valedictorian of the high school for being the best student, or attacking the best running back on your football team for trying harder or being the best athlete. I didn't get that. But that is kind of what you all have grown up with. And I have learned that this group is the most risk-averse generation so far. Risk-averse means you're not willing to take a risk in entrepreneurship. When I came out here a while ago, I drove past hundreds of businesses, small businesses, to get here. I passed one government office on the way out here. That was the Tennessee Driver's License Bureau. Now I think you all have all been there, haven't you? Entrepreneurship is at an all-time low. In 1989, 10.9% of you by age 30 would have your own business. By 2010, that had dropped to 6.1%, and today it's 3.6%. If we got 200 students here today, that means about 7 of you by age 30 will own your own business. We've got to turn that around, ladies and gentlemen. I've got to talk you into taking a risk and turning that around and become an entrepreneur. You can either go to work at a government office, and if you want to work for the IRS and sit in a cubicle and think you can change the world from that cubicle making $35,000 a year, you've got another thing coming. If you will get a chance to get in private business, try to create and make something happen and create jobs, and you create, in the wake of everything you're doing, you create millionaires behind you, you will have done something. When I look at the situation you're all facing right now, you've got student loans at the highest I've ever seen. This is a very dangerous situation. You guys today have got the best deal in education you can possibly get right here, because whatever student loans you've come out with, you're coming out cheaper than anybody else. So congratulations. I've had more students come and talk to me about student loans and say, Mr. Jones, I'm in debt $40,000. Mr. Jones, I'm in debt $50,000. What do I do? I hear it over and over and over. Let me tell you one simple fact. If the ones of you that graduate here today, if you're going to go on and you want to be a school teacher at Cleveland High School, and you decide to go over to Nashville to Belmont University, and your sheepskin says English on it, and you have $150,000 in student debt, those numbers will not work. Think about that. You've got to not spend this student debt. They're paying for all kinds of things. I want you to be careful with student debt, because what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to buy houses. You're not going to be able to buy cars. All you're going to have is that student debt. And if you look around today, there's apartments going up all over town, but no houses. Closing, I'd like to say one thing. I remember, you know how you tell you things in your life don't turn out like you think it's going to turn out? I never thought that I would not have a college degree. I never thought I would be divorced. I never thought about that. In 1983, I met my wife, Janie. Next week, we will have been married 32 years. She is a wonderful person. It's very important you find somebody like that. If I sit here right now and try to think of arguments we've had, I can't really think of any. Maybe she's late occasionally, but that's it. It is amazing to be married to somebody for 32 years and still feel the way I feel about her, and I hope you all are able to accomplish that too. But let me tell you how things don't turn out the way it is. One of the things I did, I'd never missed one of my kids' events. I never missed a wrestling match. I never missed a football game. I never missed Courtney playing tennis. I never missed my daughter riding a horse. I was at every single event. I suggest you do that with your own children too. You go to every single event they've got, and they will appreciate it. As you get older, you'll have friends start to die. And the biggest momentum occasion in your life will happen when one of your parents die. Not when the second one, when the first one dies. That's going to be a big moment in your life. Some of you might have already reached that. But at your first parent's funeral, I'll guarantee you'll remember one thing. You will remember everybody that came to her funeral or his funeral. In the future, I hope you do the same and pay the respect to them. Since I told you I never missed an event, I was, back years ago, Courtney Jones had field day at Arnold School. I had to be over in our Tullahoma office at 8 o'clock in the morning. I left at 5 o'clock in the morning. I was in a Porsche 911. Do you know what that is? That is a fast car, kids. I'm rushing over there. On the other side of Chattanooga, right there before you get to Jasper, is a long straightaway. It was 6 a.m. in the morning. There wasn't a car for miles around. I was in a hurry. I took that Porsche 911, I popped it up to 150 miles an hour. The trees were passing very quickly. Ahead of me, I see a lone station wagon country squire. I started to slow down. I said, I want to keep going. So I kept going. I passed that Ford country squire going about 100 miles an hour faster, and I thought, I hope that didn't scare him. I wonder what that sounded like. 12 miles ahead was a roadblock waiting on me. I'd slowed down. I didn't have a problem. Took my driver's license. I said, what's the problem, officer? He said, the problem is, Mr. Jones, is you passed the captain of the Tennessee Highway Patrol driving his wife's car to work this morning. Things are not always as you plan. It's not going to turn out as you planned. That day did not turn out as I planned. Coming back, I was rushing back to see Courtney at field day. I'd never missed anything. I had my video camera. I came back to Cleveland, Tennessee, and made it in the nick of time. And in the nick of time, I went running in there, and they were all lining up the race, the kids were, and there was a little boy there named Kenyatta. This is 40 years later. 30 years later, I'm talking about Kenyatta. He impressed me. When I videoed Kenyatta, he looked at me, he says, I don't want no red, all I want's a blue. And he proceeded to race Joseph McCoy down the field. He beat Joseph by an entire half a football field. But I started thinking about, he didn't want no red, all he wants a blue. So I'd like to leave you with what Kenyatta Cobb said that day to me. When you go out to the world, don't go for the red, go straightly for the blue. It's easier to win. Thank you very much.
Do me a favor. Stay right here. I want to give you something. Alan, during your speech to the students, you mentioned that they were accomplishing something today that you've never accomplished, receiving a degree. I want you to know that's going to change right now. The Tennessee Board of Regents authorizes the awarding of honorary degrees to recognize individuals with extraordinary achievements and have set a standard that distinguishes them and benefits TBR institutions and the communities they serve as well as society. We believe you indeed are one of those special people, and I'm pleased to inform you that we are presenting to you today an honorary degree from Cleveland State Community College, the first of which Cleveland State has ever presented. Dr. King and Mr. Grissom, will you please help me with the presentation? You're going to have to stand up here, Alan, face the crowd. Yeah, there you go. With the power vested in me by the Tennessee Board of Regents in the state of Tennessee, and upon recommendation of the Faculty Staff Selection Committee and Administration of Cleveland State Community College, you are hereby awarded an honorary Associate of Science degree for business and entrepreneurship with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. As a symbol of this honor, we present you with this hood and the appropriate diploma. Alan? Don't worry about that. You're good.
I do it now?
Yeah, you switch it over there. You like to stay here? Okay. Now it's my job to present some other special awards that recognize the student achievement and exemplary service to the Cleveland State community. The recipient will also receive a check from the Cleveland State Community College Foundation presented by Foundation President Amy Cardililios. Amy, come on up and help me with this, please. Would you come on this side because he'll come up on this side. The foundation is made up of community leaders who believe in education and support the mission of Cleveland State. Established in 1971, the foundation has awarded over $4.7 million in scholarships to over 6,000 of our students. Unrestricted dollars raised by the foundations support the college in other ways, such as this financial award presented today. First, we want to present the Distinguished Graduate Award. The Distinguished Graduate Award is given each year to the graduating student who, in the opinion of the college faculty and staff, has contributed the most to the advancement and betterment of Cleveland State Community College. This year's distinguished graduate had several nominations, and there frankly is no way to read all of the wonderful things that were said about him in the short amount of time we have this morning. This young man was hand-selected to work for the recruitment office to complete his academic service hours because they knew he would be a valuable student representative to the college. For the past 2 years, he has always been willing to volunteer his time by giving tours to prospective students and their families, representing Cleveland State at community events, accompanying staff to local high schools to speak with students, and much more. In the fall of 2014, the Student Ambassadors Group was reinstated, and he was selected to be the leader because of his professionalism, enthusiasm, and commitment to the college. Not only has he maintained a stellar academic record with a 4.0 GPA, but he is also an officer in the Phi Theta Kappa, parliamentarian of Student Senate, and a member of Baptist Collegiate Ministries, International Studies Committee, Chemistry Society, Student Life Committee, Vocal Rhapsody, and the Strategic Planning Steering Committee. No wonder he racked up so many awards the other night at the honor ceremony. He wants to be a doctor. So long with these other commitments, he works at Star Regional Medical Center in Athens as an ER technician. He is a born leader and will accomplish anything he sets out to do. The 2015 distinguished graduate is Bo Marshall. Please come on up, Bo. And you get to stay on stage. We got a picture right here. Right over here. Next is the Distinguished Staff Award. The Distinguished Staff Award is presented each year to an individual who has performed meritorious service to Cleveland State above and beyond the expectations of the job. This award is open to any Cleveland State employee other than those classified as executive, administrator, or faculty. This year's recipient has been with Cleveland State for 7 years. She was hired and has stayed with Student Services as an admissions coordinator and has become one of the first people that students interact with when wanting to enroll at Cleveland State. She takes great pride in working with students and performs her job extremely well. She was the lone admissions coordinator in the area for 3 months while 2 positions were vacant. She took this in stride and never hesitated to give it her all, to make sure every application was done in a timely manner. She spent countless hours coming in early, staying late, and working on weekends to make sure every student was taken care of. She did not do this for the money. She did it because she loves Cleveland State. She's also willing and eager to learn more about her area and annually attends conferences and webinars to make sure she stays on top of the constant changes in her profession. She is the ultimate team player and loves to help out across the campus, serving on multiple committees and volunteering to serve as a host at almost every event. She has a heart for serving and always putting others ahead of herself. She is actively involved in her community church, volunteers on weekends at the Spring City Nursing Home, providing worship, and provides meals for people in her community that do not have or cannot join their family during Thanksgiving or Christmas. Living in Ray County, she is a great ambassador for Cleveland State outside of our service area. One thing is for sure, when you come in contact with this person, you walk away knowing how much she loves Cleveland State. The 2015 Distinguished Staff Member is Ruth Kirkendall. Ruth, please come on down. I know she's here. She wasn't expecting this. There she is. Come on down, Ruth. I'll get to it. Next is the Distinguished Faculty Award. The Distinguished Faculty Award is given each year to a member of the Cleveland State faculty in recognition of meritorious service to the college and community. This year's recipient has been with the college since 2008. He is an outstanding instructor who is always willing to go the extra mile for his students. This will kind of give it away. As the only full-time professor within his discipline, he serves not only as an instructor but also as a mentor to his students. In order to ensure that his students can meet their academic goals, he puts in long hours providing extra instruction as well as independent study opportunities when necessary. He strives to provide students with easy access to educational materials through his creation of a digital textbook, which is free to students and a model for his fellow faculty members. He provides students with an opportunity to begin their career in art by arranging shows for both current students and graduates. He works tirelessly to provide travel opportunities in order to provide students with cultural experiences that might otherwise not be available to have. Over the past 7 years, he has worked on fundraisers that brought in over $40,000 to help finance student trips to galleries in New York, Atlanta, and Knoxville. In addition, he has secured grants to bring in international artists in residence who provide our students with access to cutting-edge artistic techniques as well as expert feedback and advice. In addition to serving as our current Faculty Senate President, he is also very active on campus committees and has served as the chairperson of the Cultural Heritage Committee for 5 years, as well as the Textbook Task Force, the Compensation Task Force, and the Employee Evaluation Task Force. In addition, he has demonstrated a record of service to our community, having served as, among other things, a frequent representative from Cleveland State as an art judge at various youth events. The 2015 Distinguished Faculty Member is Mark McLeod. He's right here. A couple of quick announcements. Phi Theta Kappa, the Community College National Honor Society, is selling roses in the lobby. Some of you have already got some. The funds raised will go to the local Omega Omicron chapter of PTK, so if you'd like to purchase one for your graduate, please feel free to do so. Or if you'd like to head over to the bookstore following the ceremony and purchase some Cleveland State memorabilia for your graduate, they'll be open until 1 o'clock. Now we're ready for the presentation of our graduating class. Dr. King.
Will the graduates please stand? Yeah.
Dr. Seymour, I am pleased to present to you the graduating class of 2015. As Vice President for Academic Affairs, I certify that the students have fulfilled all of the requirements set forth by the Tennessee Board of Regents and that they are entitled to receive the appropriate degrees or certificates.
With the power vested in me by the Tennessee Board of Regents and the state of Tennessee, and upon recommendation of the faculty and administration of Cleveland State Community College, these candidates are hereby awarded an Associate of Arts degree, an Associate of Science degree, an Associate of Applied Science degree, or a certificate with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. Congratulations. Is now the time to turn the passage? All right, after, all right. We have professional photographers taking pictures of each graduate, so we'd like to ask the family and friends to remain in the stands during the ceremony and remain until all graduates have exited the gym. At this time, we'll come down to the lower stage and we'll get started with this special event. Come on down.
Students receiving the Associate of Arts, Fanya Meridian Clark. Natalie Hayes Guerin. Victoria Lynn Long. Sean Caleb Nichols. Jennifer L. O'Neill. Ansley Marie Phelps. Chase Edward Prince. Reed Daniel Allison, Associate of Science. Bo Henry Marshall. Molly Caroline McConnell. Associate of Arts, Kendra Elise Martin. Associate of Science, Katie Drew Baker. Mercedes Danielle Baudino. Sherry Suzanne Bean. Natalie Elaine Bearden. Presented by her mother, Denise Rogers Calais, accountant in the CSC Business Office, Rachel Savannah Bennett. Daniel Owen Bird. Brandy Nicole Birch. Cherie Renee Burke. Sandra Leanne Elizabeth Combs. Allison Rebecca Conley. Yasmari Kubale. Christine Dan. Dantario Swindell Dansby. Caitlin Crystal Dauphiné. Dylan James Dobbs. Sierra Danielle Dockery. Jonathan Allen Duracek. Haley Nicole Eakin. Piper Lynn Evans. Isabel Margarita Flores. Aovi Nunya Beve. Ashley Elizabeth Gentry. Bethany Marie Givens. Morgan Casey Greer. Heather Elizabeth Hall. Samuel Houston Hamby. Catrice Denise Harris. Colby Alexander Harris. Anna Ray Harvey. Allison Marie Highland. Julie Ann Hook. Kevin James Houck. Barry William Hyde. Presented by her mother, Carmen Kingsley, Assistant Professor, Medical Assisting, Audrey Lee Kingsley. Wyatt Dakota Knox. Jensen Carolee Landry. Jessica Lachey Latham. Jacob Brian Lawson. Brandon Warren Leonard. Kayla Leanne Lowe. Isaac Barak Lures. Lindsay Danielle Mabe. Rebecca Michelle McLean. Peyton Keeley Maxwell. Casey Lynn Mayo. Matthew Todd McDonald. Ariel Lusk McFadden. Cordell Medlin. Brian Taylor Morgan. Lydia Rose Murray. Jason Matthew Nicholson. Bruceanne Marie Owen. Sasha Noel Painter. Tashina Diane Panter. James Wesley Parker. Krisha Dharmendra Patel. Whitney Leanne Patterson. Joseph Scott Poole. Ethan Joseph Petit. Aaron Tyler Quarles. Ashley Nicole Randolph. Caitlin Brianne Roberts. Matthew Roberts. Tori Kaylin Roberts. Heavenly Rose Rodriguez. Danny Ray Rouser Jr. Brent Thomas Smith. Megan Joy Smith. Miranda Nicole Smith. Carl Edward Swilling. Kristen Elizabeth Tager. Samantha Dawn Tankersley. Renee Dalton Thomas. Dakota Douglas Thompson. Jeremy Mason Thompson. Lauren Elizabeth Tilley. Susan Waybrandt. Ashley Nicole. Students receiving Associate of Applied Science. Brody Dustin Adams. Habadeo Kingsley Hadiko. Ryan Lamont Alston. Angela Anderson. Scarlett Kelly Rebecca Andren. Brian Eugene Arp. Jessica Nicole Baker. Jessica F. Barton. Susan Beals. Presented by her grandmother, Patricia Bishop, Faculty Emeritus, Savannah Brooke Bishop. Adeshalin Shanye Boykins. Amber Corinne Bramblett. Jalea Bias. Sarah Beth Burns. Amy Lynn Caldwell. Austin Carden. Anna Virginia Cargyle. Teresa Ann Carpenter. Selena M. Charania. Ashley Diane Coffey. Ashley Marie Colamy. Ashley Nicole Crooms. Stephanie Lynn Cross. Gabriella Da Silva. Gayla Denise Davis. Sharon Davis. Lauren Taylor Dawson. David Andrew Ellison. Presented by his mother, Suzanne Ratliff, Secretary in the Library, Israel Aaron Essex. Pamela K. Ivanek. Aaron Alford Fuller. Julius A. Garrett. Melanie Lynette Goss. Rachel Leanne Hampton. Amy Hazelton. Vanessa Hernandez. Karen Marie Hickey. Sharon Lee Honeycutt. Melissa Lynn Huffman. Anthony Michael Hunt. James Morgan Johnson. Stella Kristen Konarski. Emily Michelle Knox. Anna Kripolopov. Stephanie Sue Cruz. Jimmy Lynn Lane. Jamie Lynn Martin. Megan Teresa Martin. Karen Michelle Massey. Jennifer Elizabeth McDowell. Cassie Mecca. Joshua Lynn Moser. Sheila Lorraine Mowry. Anna Nicole Murdoch. Brittany Elise Oliver. Latasha Javon Paris. Neethi P. Patel. Cynthia Marie Perrian. Megan Taya Pickering. Rachel June Richards. Kathy Rogers. Sherry Lee Russell. John A. Reimer. Melanie Dawn Shawbrook. Jan Celeste Schroll. Stacy Jean Scott. Alicia Michelle Sells. Rebecca Lee Shelton. Lisa Michelle Sherwood. Candace Sheree Shirk. Tina Schubert. Vicki Lee Standridge. Linda Mahoney Starnes. Sierra Nicole Stevens. Monique Charisse Stevenson. Ashley Leanne Strickland. Sonia Nicole Tovar Pickle. Grace Lynn Walker. Rebecca Ann Wheeler. Amy Jean Wilson. Christina Marie Winterfeld. Mandy Elizabeth Wolf Sparks. Haley Noel Wolf. Keela Deneen Wright. Sarah Elizabeth Wright. Laura Josephine Zenas. Nicole Monica Yates. Students earning certificates. Ryan Douglas Bright. Jonathan Matthew Burke. Amanda Desiree Dixon. Jeremiah Calvin Dodd. Austin Dean Smith. Taylor Marie Somerow. John Stephen Hall. Lauren Elizabeth Harvey. Fania Lynn Hooper. Angela Johnson. Benita Haresh Patel. Madeline Noel Scoggins. Marianne Tapley. Kara Marie Walker.
Graduates, will you please stand? Now's that time. Move your tassel to the left. You are now officially graduates of Cleveland State Community College. Now that you are alumni, please continue to consider yourself a part of the Cleveland State family, and please, please keep in touch. You may have a seat. Before we conclude our ceremony today, I want to leave you with a few parting thoughts. How many of you like country music? Well, I love it, and I listen to it all the time. If you're a fan of country music, regardless of your age, you're probably a fan of Martina McBride, one of the very best over the last couple decades. When I was thinking about what I wanted to say to you today, I thought about her song titled, "Do It Anyways." If you don't recall it, here's a snippet, and don't worry, I'm not going to sing it. You can spend your whole life building something from nothing. One storm can come along and blow it all away. Build it anyway. You can chase a dream that seems so far out of reach, and you know it might not ever come your way. Dream it anyway. I would guess that many of you today dreamed you would not be sitting here receiving your college degree. In fact, I know there are several of you who never dreamed you would get to college at all, yet here you are. If you have learned anything from your time at Cleveland State, I hope you have learned that you can and you should always allow yourself to dream and dream any dream you can imagine for yourself. You have proven that you are not only capable of dreaming big dreams, but you are capable of achieving them. So what is next for you? Are you dreaming of going on to finish your 4-year degree? Are you dreaming of that great job for which you're now qualified? Are you dreaming of a long career and being able to provide for your family the way that you had always hoped? Achieving breeds confidence, and confidence leads to more accomplishments. I wish you the very best, and I look forward to learning about what you accomplish next because you dared to dream it anyway. Thank you very much. In honor of our graduating class of 2015, we ask that you refrain from exiting the building during the recessional. You may meet your graduate outside the gym once they have exited, and I thank you for your assistance in this matter. Our recessional will be led by the platform party, followed by the faculty, and then the students. Let the music begin.
Thank you.